Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Susan Valakis and I'm the Training Development Coordinator at Now, and as such I bring you these webinars on the third Thursday of each month. If you've missed any of them, you can find replays on our website, nowfoods.com/webinars, or on our Now YouTube channel. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please use the chat bubble that you see there on your screen, submit your question, and we will respond to you with an answer by email. So we thank you for taking a break from your busy day today to join us for the presentation as we look at the Now dietary fiber category and how different types of fiber can feed and nourish the body. In today's 30-minute webinar, we welcome Dr. Dawn Daylor. Dawn is our Product Information Supervisor in the Now External Affairs Department. And prior to joining Now earlier this year, she worked as a retail pharmacist with Jewel Osco for about 22 years. She's an APHA certified immunizer, and as such, she managed many COVID vaccine clinics. She's also proficient in medication therapy management and has served as a guest professor at Waubonsie Junior College for their pharmacy technician certification program. We're very happy that she has joined our team at Now, so please join me in welcoming Dr. Dawn Daylor for today's presentation. Welcome, Dawn.
Thanks, Sue. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. My name's Dawn. I am the Product Information Supervisor, and I have just joined Now back in January, and I'm really thankful to be with such a wonderful company. Today, we're going to be talking about fiber supplements, and it is going to be a short and sweet little presentation. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a definition of what fiber is. Dietary material containing substances such as cellulose, ligand, and pectin that are resistant to the action of digestive enzymes. Cellulose is an insoluble substance which is the main constituent of the plant cell walls and vegetable fibers. Ligand is a complex polymer that is deposited in the cell wall of many plants, making them rigid and woody. And pectin is the structural acid that is contained in the cell wall of plants. So there is our definition of what fiber is. So that is the actual definition, but we're going to talk about that fiber is a plant-derived type of carbohydrate that cannot be broken down by digestive enzymes. It is also known as roughage. So when your grandma told you that you should be eating roughage, this is what she is talking about. Most carbohydrates are broken down into sugar in the system, but fiber is not. So fiber is not broken down into sugar, and it passes through the body undigested. There are two types of fiber. We have soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber can dissolve in water. It forms a gel-like material. And I don't know if anybody has ever had chia seeds in their juice or water, but if they have and they know the gel type of substance that it makes, that's what I'm talking about when it forms a gel-like material. It can help maintain healthy glucose and cholesterol levels, and it slows down the digestive process. And I've given you guys a couple examples of what soluble fiber we can get from our food sources. Soluble fiber is also known as fermentable fiber, and it can act as food for the good gut bacteria that we all know that we need. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water. It helps attract more water into the intestine, and it bulks up and softens waste. And again, I've given you a couple examples of food sources that can be considered insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber is also known as non-fermentable fiber. It travels intact into the colon, and it makes stools easier to pass. So how does fiber work? after soluble fiber is ingested, it absorbs water and turns into a gel-like substance. Soluble fiber then mixes with partially digested food in the stomach. And then in the small intestine, soluble fiber entraps sugars, cholesterol, and fats and slows down their absorption into the body. Insoluble fiber moves through the system mostly intact. So why do we need fiber? Fiber can help us to feel full longer, which can help aid in the maintaining of healthy weight. It helps us maintain healthy glucose and cholesterol levels. It can aid in digestion, and it can help keep the GI tract running properly. So how much fiber do we need? That is the big question. According to the USDA dietary guidelines, women under the age of 50 are recommended to get 25 to 28 grams per day. Men under 50 are expected to get 31 to 34 grams of fiber per day. Women over the age of 50 are expected to get 22 grams per day. Men over the age of 50 are expected to get 28 grams per day. And children aged 1 through 18 are expected to get 14 to 31 grams per day, and that is dependent on their age and their sex. So how do we know how much fiber to get? That is, there's an equation that the USDA guidelines have put out, and this is the equation that we have. So the USDA has a recommendation of how many calories each age group should be intaking every day. And there's 14 grams per 1,000 calories of the recommendation. So for example, females age 51 and older have a recommendation of 1,600 calories per day. And then if you plug that into the equation, that comes to the 22.4 grams per day, which we saw on the previous slide. So then we have to ask the question, are we getting enough fiber? And that it is estimated that only about 7% of the population is getting enough fiber in their diets. There are some surveys that are showing that the average American is only getting about 16 grams per day. So what happens if we don't get enough fiber? Well, we're at risk for bloating, constipation, and irregular bowel movements. It can make it difficult to maintain a healthy weight. It can put us at risk for more serious conditions, and it has the potential to disrupt the intestinal microbiota. So how can now help? Well, we have fiber supplements. Right, and we're going to talk now about what the FDA has as the fiber definition, and this is for our nutritional facts and supplemental facts labeling rule. So a dietary fiber is a non-digestible, soluble, and insoluble carbohydrates. They are ligand that are intrinsic to intact in plants. They are isolated or synthetic, non-digestible carbohydrates, which are determined by the FDA to have physiological effects that are beneficial to human health. And that's a lot of words. So we want to know, what does that mean for now? Basically, what that means is that if a product does not meet the FDA definition of what fiber is, regardless of the physiological effects on the body, it would have to be listed as a carbohydrate on the nutritional label. And I bring that up because once we start into the next product, you'll see that there was some labeling regulations that we had to follow. So the first product that we're going to talk about is the certified organic acacia powder, which is item number 5905. And the acacia powder is from the sap of the acacia trees, which is native to parts of Africa and India. This is a soluble fiber, and I'm actually going to go back for 1 second. I want to show you that on the label here, we have it listed as a carbohydrate. because the FDA prior to 2021 did not have acacia listed as a dietary fiber that we could label as such. That has since changed, so our labeling will be changing eventually for that. So anyway, acacia is a soluble fiber. It has 6 grams of fiber per serving, which is 1 tablespoon. And we can get a combination of the Acacia Sayal or the Acacia Senegal trees. It just depends on availability. We did talk about the supplemental facts change in the 2021 FDA change of the ruling. Acacia can act as a prebiotic, which we talked about was beneficial to feeding our gut bacteria. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher. The next product we have is apple fiber, which is our item number 5908. And our apple fiber can be taken mixed with liquids. It can be mixed into powder blends, and it can be just taken directly. Our apple fiber powder is mostly insoluble, but it has about 10%, no more than 10% pectin. It is about 75% insoluble and 25% soluble fiber. Each serving, which is 1 tablespoon, provides 5 grams of fiber. Our apple fiber is mostly from the outer peel of the apple. It has a slight apple aroma and mild apple taste. It is mostly from Fuji, Delicious, Braeburn, and Honeycrisp apples. It is from non-GMO apples. There are no sulfites, nitrates, or nitrites used in the processing. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher. Next, we have our apple pectin product, which is item number 6425. And our apple pectin is a soluble form of fiber. It is gel forming. It provides 1 gram of fiber per serving, which is 2 capsules. This can help support good intestinal health. It is from non-GMO apples. It has a mild fruity odor with a slight mild fruit taste, and it is tested for heavy metals and pesticides. So you may be asking yourself, what is the difference between apple fiber and apple pectin? Again, apple fiber is mostly insoluble. It is typically from the apple peels that have been dried and then milled into a powder. Apple pectin is soluble, and it is the pomace of the fruit that goes through an extraction, drying, and milling process. Next, we have our product. It's Certified Organic Fiber 3, which is item number 5993. And as you might have guessed, this is a combination of 3 different types of fiber. It is soluble and insoluble fiber. It is a mix of golden flax meal, acacia, and inulin. It has 4 grams of fiber per serving, which is 2.5 tablespoons. It is psyllium-free. It has naturally occurring omega-3s. It has a mild nutty odor and taste. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher. And you guys might be wondering why I noticed that this was psyllium-free. And there are a small group of consumers that would prefer to not have a psyllium-based fiber, which we have psyllium as well. And those are typically people who have some kind of bowel obstruction or narrowing of their esophagus, because psyllium can absorb or swell when it's mixed with water. So it's not a benefit to them. And then there are some people who are on certain prescription medications that want to avoid psyllium because it can increase or decrease the effectiveness of their medication. Our next product we're going to talk about is glucomannan. And glucomannan comes from the konjac root. It is a soluble form of fiber. It has 2 grams of fiber per serving, which is 3 capsules. Again, it comes from the konjac root. It is bulk forming. It helps create a feeling of fullness, which again can help maintain a healthy weight. It supports healthy cholesterol levels already within a normal range. It is tested for heavy metals and adulterants, and this product is kosher and halal. We also have this in a powder form, so this is glucomannan in powder, and it is a soluble form of fiber. This gives us 2 grams of fiber per serving, which is a half a teaspoon. Again, this supports healthy cholesterol levels already within a healthy range. There is no taste, but it does say that it has a slightly fishy or alcohol odor to it. This wants to be mixed well, and you want to add it slowly to your liquid to make sure that it is all incorporated. Again, this one is tested for heavy metals and adulterants, and it is kosher and halal. The next product we have is our prebiotic fiber with Fiber Sol 2, which is a registered trademark product. It is made from non-GMO corn. It is soluble. It provides 11 grams of fiber per serving, which is 2 tablespoons. So you're getting quite a bit of fiber with this product. It can act as a prebiotic, which again is going to help feed our good gut bacteria. This dissolves rapidly in water or your favorite beverage, so it does mix well. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides. It has no taste, and it is kosher. So now we're going to get into our psyllium products. The first one we're going to talk about is our psyllium husk powder. This is an excellent form of fiber. We also have this available in an organic version. This is mostly soluble. Each serving, which is 1 tablespoon, has 6 grams of soluble and 1 gram of insoluble fiber. This is USP grade. This is more of a dense powder. It will swell and form a gel when it is mixed. It has a slightly grainy taste and odor. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher and halal. Next, we have our psyllium husk capsules. And this is a really convenient way to add fiber if you don't like to take a powder. So this is a soluble form of fiber. It has 1 gram of fiber per serving, which is 3 capsules. So you're not getting as much as the powder. It's not quite as concentrated, but it is a good alternative if you don't like the powder. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher. The next product we have is our psyllium husk 700 milligrams per capsule, and this product is very similar to the one prior, except for the fact that this one is 1 gram of fiber per 2 servings, or per serving, which is 2 capsules. So it's less capsules per serving, and you are also getting 100 milligrams of apple pectin per serving in this particular product. Again, this one is tested for heavy metals and pesticides, and it is kosher and halal. Next, we have our whole psyllium husk powder. This is an organic certified product. And again, it's an excellent source of fiber. We also have this in a non-GMO formulation. This is mostly soluble. Each serving, which is 2 tablespoons, has 6 grams of soluble and 1 gram of insoluble fiber. This one is more of a fluffy, lightweight powder, and you must mix it vigorously and add small amounts at a time to get it to mix with the liquid. It provides small amounts of iron and potassium. It is tested for heavy metals and pesticides. It says that it has a bland odor and taste, and this one is kosher. And the reason that someone may pick this product over the pure powder is that it does not gel as quickly as the pure powder, so it makes it a little bit easier for people to have some time to drink their product because it doesn't gel quite as quickly as the pure powder. Next, we're going to go into our whole grain category, which is also an excellent source of fiber. We're going to touch on just a couple of the products in our whole grain category. But first we want to talk about what is a whole grain, and a whole grain is actually the whole grain. It has three components. It has the endosperm, the bran, and the germ. The endosperm is the part of the grain that provides energy. It is mostly starchy carbohydrates, but it does provide some vitamins and protein. The bran is what protects the grain, and it is where all of the fiber comes from, and it does have provide some vitamins and minerals. And then the germ is the embryo, which is packed with vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. Whole grains have a high concentration of dietary fiber, and dietary fiber from grains can increase stool weight and transit speed. And the first product we're going to talk about is our organic quinoa, which is item number 6311. This is a great way to add more fiber to your diet. It must be cooked before consuming. It is mostly insoluble fiber. It provides 4 grams of fiber per serving, which is a quarter of a cup. It provides fiber and protein. It is a great substitute for rice. It has a slightly nutty flavor. It is kosher and halal, and it is gluten-free. So for all our gluten-free friends, it's a great option for them. Next, we're going to talk about organic millet. And also millet can be crunchy or soft depending on how you cook it. It is a very versatile grain to add to your diet. It is mostly soluble. It provides 3 grams of fiber per serving, which is 1/4 of a cup. It provides fiber, protein, and some naturally occurring B vitamins. It has a slightly nutty taste. This is more of an alkaline grain, so it is easy to digest. It cooks faster than rice. It is grown in the US. It is kosher and gluten-free. Next, we have our organic rolled oats, which is commonly used as a breakfast cereal or into snacks. It is soluble fiber. It contains 4 grams of fiber per serving, which is a half a cup. It provides fiber, protein, and iron. The outer shell is removed. The outer husk is removed. We were voted the #1 overall favorite brand in an independent test by epicurious.com. It is tested for glyphosate. It is sourced from the US and Canada, and it is kosher. Next, we have white chia seeds, which is item number 6241. This can be eaten as a snack on its own, but it's great in recipes. Can also be put on yogurt, pudding. It is a soluble form of fiber. It provides 7 grams of fiber per serving, which is 2 tablespoons. It provides essential fatty acids, which is omega-3 and omega-6. It has a mild flavor, and this is kosher and halal. Next, we have our organic oat bran. And oat bran is the actual outer layer of the whole oat, which makes it a little bit different than the rolled oats. It is a soluble form of fiber. There are 4 grams of fiber per serving, which is 1/3 of a cup. It can be used in baking to boost the fiber content. It has a subtle nutty flavor. It is sourced from the US and Canada. It is tested for glyphosate, and it is kosher. Then we have our organic flaxseed, which is item number 6260. And flaxseed can be added to cereals, pancakes, muffins, and even yogurt. It is soluble and insoluble. It has both forms of fiber. It has 8 grams of fiber per serving, which is 3 tablespoons. It is about 35 to 45% fiber, which 2/3 are insoluble and 1/3 is soluble. It does provide fiber, protein, and omega-3s. It has a mild nutty flavor. It can be added to baking or cooking to increase fiber, and it is kosher and halal. And then lastly, I just wanted to add a little bit of humor into the presentation, that even though we can add all of these wonderful fiber options, we just want to make sure that we're adding it to some really good food choices and not to our cheese fries. So anyway, I appreciate you guys all taking the time to listen, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Dawn. Excellent presentation. I want to go back and copy down that formula that you had, because it's always hard to know how much fiber, we should be getting. So that was
Yes.
kind of cool that you had that. And I'm glad to know we have a psyllium that doesn't gel so fast. When you were talking, I was thinking back of the psyllium. I used to try to take it, and not for any reason, but I just couldn't stand it because it gelled so quickly.
Yes.
And I would be trying to drink this stuff and almost tossing my cookies every time I drank it. I finally gave up on it and said I have to find another way. So
Yep. Absolutely. Yes. Going to the whole husk might be a little bit of a better option.
Yep. Maybe I'll try that, because that was not fun. All right. Well, thank you again, Dawn, for an excellent presentation. Lots of good information to take away, and you put it in some very digestible parts for us. So thank you very much. I just want to take this opportunity to remind our audience that if you have any questions, take a minute to type them into your chat bubble on your screen, and we will reply to you by email. Or you can always reach out to our nutrition team about today's presentation or about any questions that you might have about Now products. And you see the email address on your screen there, productinfo@nowfoods.com. So thank you once again, Dawn, and thank you everyone for joining us. This is our last presentation for the year, so we will see you in 2024. And until then, we wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. Bye-bye now.